Okay, let's start again. Hello and welcome to episode number 52 of the All Things Sports Podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff and I am joined by, hang on, there we go. And you're muted? Oh, good. We're off to a great start. And you are?
Danny Shannon. Sorry, Zach.
All right, yeah, we're having a little bit of problems here as we begin here, so we apologize for any problems that may arise as we had to deal with audio problems before we begun the program. Now, we're going to begin with the XFL. The XFL season concluded this past Saturday with the Defenders. I can never get that right. The Renegades defeating the 6-6 now Renegades, defeating the 10-3, I believe, DC Defenders. Danny, your thoughts on that particular game and the XFL season in general?
Yeah, for sure, Zach. I'll just say, from an overall season standpoint, I really think, as a whole, the XFL was a success. Right? Everybody, there were all questions as to how the XFL gimmick would compare to the NFL and even the USFL, its counterpart, which is going on currently. And I think that I was just overall very impressed with the amount of interest as a whole. I mean, we covered it. We did picks at the beginning of the year, and it really seemed like, especially team teams that were in like big cities, just had a lot of interest, man. Which I think is great. And I was really impressed and intrigued by the product. And just talking about the game real quick, Zach. Last podcast we did, or a couple podcasts ago, we were previewing this game, and I think you said I expect the DC Defenders to win pretty handily, and I also expected the DC Defenders to win pretty handily. Just considering their track record, the fact that they really kind of just got in easily, and Arlington had to get help from being in a weak division. But I said, um, championship games, really the underdog thrives in them. I feel like, and that's exactly what Arlington did, man. I mean, at 6-6, they are the XFL champions, like you said, Zach. Which I just think, credit to them, man. They came in, they executed game plan. They got 35 points off of a really good Defenders defense, man. So credit to them.
Jenny, what do you think there is to take? What do you think the Defenders can take away from losing a game like this, from what I can only assume is to be the heavy favorites? What do you think they can take away from being upset in that manner?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine if I'm on that coaching staff, if I'm players, man, I'm upset. It's going to sting for a while. I listened to the Kelsey brothers podcast back when Jason Kelsey lost and that's a great podcast, by the way, New Heights, I believe. But when Jason Kelsey lost to his brother Travis Kelsey, he said it's going to sting for a while. But I really enjoyed the ride. I think that's what DC is going to eventually take away from that. With time, wounds heal, right? But DC, they've always kind of been that dark horse. But I think what they're going to take away for next year's is we got to finish. Like we're putting ourselves in good positions, and there's been things we can't control, such as the COVID season where they were 5-0 or whatever it was, and they weren't able to finish it, obviously due to the pandemic. There's been things they can't control, but they've been in good situations. They just haven't been able to finish always. So I think they really are probably going to put an emphasis on that in this off season here.
Yeah, and I think, excuse me, with the Renegades winning the XFL Championship at 6-6, I think it really does show me that these types of Cinderella stories, the Cinderella teams, are possible.
Yeah.
Now we talk a lot about Cinderella teams in March Madness, but really we don't talk about them much outside of that context. So it is nice
Well,
to
that
see that. God,
no, I just says that that's the also the uniqueness of the XFL format too. The fact that who was it? Seattle got kind of snubbed out of a playoff spot because I mean
yeah,
they had a heck of a 5 game stretch where they came back from what was it 0-3 or something, Zach,
hmm
and I mean and they probably feel a little bit salty because Arlington barely squeaked in, but executed in those final 2 games, and for that you got to give them credit. You know what I mean, Zach?
yeah. But like back to what I was saying. Yeah, I think that this championship game does in fact prove that Cinderella teams can. In fact, with championships, I did not watch a second of the game. I will have to go back and I'll watch that probably tomorrow in my spare time. All right, now switching gears to the other spring football league currently in progress, the USFL. We're currently in week number 5 already somehow. Don't know how that is, but we are in week 5. We're already halfway through the season, and your Pittsburgh Maulers, I'm not sure if you can see that, are 2-3 in the division. Now, it's interesting because if you look at the North Division, all the teams are 2-3. So this makes it interesting. Danny, your thoughts? Just first of all, the Ballers 23-7 defeat over the. Or I'm sorry, I can't speak. 23-7 win over the Michigan Panthers, I believe it was.
Um, yeah, man. Better than the 1-9 campaign last year. I've said that numerous times, but we obviously Philadelphia we kind of squeaked by with 21-13, I think it was. But Michigan, I know they're not a super solid team, one of the juggernauts of the league here, but you want, especially early season when you're coming off of a couple of consecutive losses here. I think you really want to have a decisive win, right? Where you just outplay outplay the opponent. I think that showed in the Michigan game. And as far as the whole 2-3 with everybody in the Maulers division specifically being 2-3, and I'm sure we can touch on playoff scenarios as it gets closer here. But I mean, I'm just gonna deploy the old sports cliche where it's a marathon and not a sprint, Zach. Just because there's a lot of games left to be played, right? And I think if I'm being from Pittsburgh, being a Maulers fan, right? I had I to be honest, I did not have high hopes for this season at all. I mean, I don't think we should have to after the 1-9 performance last year. But I'm intrigued, man, because it's obvious that they got some going here, and that one sided loss definitely gets me more intrigued than I was before, for sure, Zach.
There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go through it again. So I was saying the Pittsburgh Maulers are undefeated. The Pittsburgh Maulers are undefeated at Ford Field. I apologize. As you can see, we have some audio issues here. I don't know why, but the Maulers are undefeated at Ford Field, and and I don't know if it's a good omen or what that deal is, but hey, we're doing good. I'm not going to complain. So now looking ahead to week 6, we have the Maulers and Showboats. I think that is going to be a win for the Maulers. Danny, your thoughts?
Yeah, Memphis has been the one team, Zach, where it's been like, well, they're not super good. Just from watching.
It's the Maulers of this year. It's like the
Yeah,
Maulers
right,
of
right,
last
right.
year.
And
Now,
I think that's partly due to them being an expansion team, right? They kind of getting the late start here. But yeah, I feel pretty confident in that game. And again, I'm all about the sports cliches today, Zach. But if you're the Maulers, you want a game, you want to win games that you're supposed to win, right? We don't want to see the regression of losing to a team that struggled as of late. Now, for the Showboats, it's still early, right? But if you're the Maulers, you want to definitely put some distance between yourself and the bottom of the league here in the Showboats. So hopefully this kind of seems to me, Zach, and again, I'm not as well versed as in the NFL, but it's a little bit like a trap game. You know how kind of midway through the season, there are games that, just kind of fall coming off of a big win. It's a game we should on paper win, but obviously the schedule gets harder from here for sure, Zach. So.
correct. Um, yeah. So looking ahead to week 7 here, or week 6 again here. So we have the Stallions and Panthers. I lost my screen. We have the nope. I don't want that. And you still have not noticed what I put at the bottom of the screen, have you?
Oh yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. I like that a lot, Jack.
So we have the Stallions and Panthers, and I think the Birmingham Stallions are 3-2. Um, and yes, that is staying down there, and that will be scrolling across the screen forever. Um,
I like it. I like it.
the Stallions at 3-2. Just your thoughts on XFL Championship or XFL champions last year in Birmingham Stallions. Your thoughts? I mean, they're still on the
Yeah,
upside of 500, but they're kind of close.
for sure, Zach. Again, early season, working at the Kinks. A lot of teams, like we said, everybody in the Maulers division are 2-3 right now. So not a ton of separation there. But they may be suffering a little bit. I always think about how sometimes the Lightning, for example, in the NHL, they always get to the Stanley Cup or make a deep run. I guess not this year, but the past couple seasons. But they've always kind of started slow. So it may be a little bit of that championship lull for that next season. But I have no doubt. I haven't watched a ton of them this year. I'll be honest, but I'm sure that that Birmingham. I think they'll be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So since you brought it up, your USFL playoff predictions if the season ended today.
Oh, Zach, that is dude. I gotta pull up
You walked yourself right into that one.
I did, man. I did.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yes.
We got one viewer watching on Twitch, so we appreciate that. And
Twitch. Okay, yes, thank you for tuning in.
No, but dude, this is live predictions, man. This is the real deal here.
Yes.
But this is I gotta switch tabs here. Well, I do that, Jack. Here, let's see.
While you do that, I'll talk about the NHL playoffs. So the NHL playoffs are still going on at this current time. Why are the names up there? I haven't had the names up the whole time. So we will. I need to get the names. All right, you know who we are by now, and if you don't, there they are. Okay. So let me get this.
I'm good, by the way, Jack. I'm good. It's top 2 for me. It's correct. similar to
Yes.
the.
So we have the Seattle and Dallas series tied 3-3. Game 7 is tonight at, I believe, 8 o'clock. So that will be a fun one to watch. We have Vegas through to the Western Conference Finals, defeating Edmonton by a series score of 4-2. And I saw a meme today that said for the 29th straight year, the United States of America has won the Stanley Cup. I kind of would like to see a Canadian team. I want to see Calgary win one in a couple years. Daryl Sutter, while Daryl Sutter's still alive. So we have Florida through to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hurricanes. And then I don't know when that series actually is supposed to begin. It's not listed. Okay. Oh, here it is. Oh, wait. What am I thinking? Okay, so that might not be listing anything for. Yeah. Okay. Be that as it may. So, Danny, just your thoughts on the NHL playoff bracket as we stand?
Yeah, I mean, I have my. I think after much, in air quotes, much preparation, I think I have my rough playoff predictions, Zach. If you would like them for the USFL.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, please, Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Similar to
not a sponsor.
Similar to last year, I think that the Stallions are going to be number one in the South Division here.
Right.
And I'm going to make you happy, Zach, right? Breakers are 4-1 currently. I know you're a big fan of the Breaker uniforms. So I'm going to say they're going to come out of the South as well. And they're going to play in the North. Now, I know, Zach, this is going to be a heck of a semifinal if it comes to fruition. I think that the Philadelphia Stars and the Pittsburgh Maulers are going to play in the USFL North Division semifinal with the Pittsburgh Maulers advancing to play the Breakers. I think that the Breakers are going to win, but I think it's going to be a heck of a season for the Maulers, man. They got, that does seem a little optimistic considering the Maulers are coming off of a 1-9 record last season. But I figured why not have a little bit of fun? Why not set it up? Kind of the storybook semifinal, if you will. So we'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition, Jack. I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be a fun year. And as Danny always says, it's a marathon and not a sprint.
That's true.
Okay, now a couple more topics here. So we got, I'm going to let Danny take the lead on either the NBA playoffs or the Pirates and Mitch Keller. Danny, you may choose.
Oh boy, Zach. A lot of good choices here. Let's start with the NBA playoffs. And I say that, Zach, and I don't know where to start because there is so much going on. There is so much circulating.
There's so much controversy. Controversy.
No, but man, I mean, let's just start off. So it is the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat as an 8th seed, and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Let me start with the Nuggets and Suns series because man, oh man, did the did that series really it was really interesting. I mean, obviously Denver dominated. They got, I mean, Jokic is unbelievable. I don't think that is a controversial statement. There's not a ton of controversy associated with that. But the real story coming out of that series, Zach, is the firing of Suns coach Monty Williams. Monty Williams, in my view, has always been one of, if not one of the best coaches in the NBA, and I was just very surprised. Obviously, the Suns, haven't they've gotten to the finals, but they haven't gotten it done. Right? They didn't get it done last year with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, but this year they have Kevin Durant, which Kevin Durant helps out that team a lot. And I think the Suns were really good in the regular season, but obviously they couldn't get it done with that when it matters, Zach. I just think it's super interesting too. Just talking about the coaching carousel for a little bit. The Mike Budenholzer with the Milwaukee Bucks coach is also out after a first round loss to the Heat. Coming in as the one seed, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But they won the championship last year, and Mike Budenholzer is out after a first round exit. And that just shows how much of a business the NBA really is. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Lakers and Warriors series. I just thought that the Lakers played about as well as you can against the Golden State Warriors. I mean, their defense on Steph Curry, they worked him every single possession down the court. They made guys shoot. Their defense just as a whole was tremendous. I mean, Anthony Davis battled through injury and was really, really, really solid. I mean, I just think the Warriors, they fell apart a little bit. They struggled, especially in the final quarter of that game 6. Just really couldn't get anything going. But I mean, man, oh man, does Darvin Ham? It kind of rhymes, but man, oh man, does Darvin Ham have them playing super, super well? And I'm just so. I mean, Austin Reeves was unbelievable, man. I don't know if any of our listeners saw, but that half court shot that he hit, to give them a sizable lead in Game 6 was just it was phenomenal, man. I just think that they've really got. I mean, LeBron took over, which that's crazy that he's still doing it at 38. But Austin Reeves was also incredible. And then I don't want to drone on and on too long because I don't want to make Zach fall asleep here. But just the Eastern Conference Finals were set with Philly with Philly losing to Boston in Game 7. Jason Tatum, man, 51 points, Game 7 record. I mean, oh my goodness, did he have himself a game? I mean, that was just unbelievable. That was a heck of a series. Jaylen Brown is really being the Batman to Tatum's, or the Robin to Tatum's Batman, if you will. Just really, really impressed with the Celtics as a whole. But the 76ers, man, they've gotten to high stakes games. They just haven't been able to finish. Again, one of the best teams in the regular season, one of the best coaches, future Hall of Famer Doc Rivers, could not quite get it done against a young Joe Mazzulla and that team, man. I mean, I'll be really interested in what the offseason looks like in Philly. I think they need a little bit of help. I think Tyrese Maxey is a heck of a player. Obviously, Joel Embiid and James Harden are really, really good when they pair up together. But obviously it wasn't enough in the end. And how about the Miami Heat, man? The Miami Heat coming out of an 8 seed. Jimmy Butler was phenomenal. And just real quick, I really, really think that both of these games have the capability to go 7 games. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. But if I had to, right now on May 15th at 6:11 p.m., I think that the Lakers and the Celtics are going to, kind of rejuvenate a historic rivalry, man. So I'm so intrigued to watch all of the NBA play out. I mean, it's just been a heck of a playoff so far, Zach.
All right, Danny. All right, thank you very much for that. And lastly, any well, we're not there yet. Briefly talk about the Pirates and Mitch Keller's pitching, and then lastly, your final thoughts once you are finished with that.
Yeah, for sure, Zach. You know,
Quick,
I'm sure we could sit here all day and talk about how
yes, we're not
promising.
going to do that. We're not
Yeah,
going to.
we appreciate the viewers sticking with us. We would not expect you to sit down all day and hear us blabber about sports, but yeah, we appreciate you tuning in for sure. But we could sit here all day and talk about how great it was for the Pirates to start 20-8, you know, and how
And we have
hopeful of a season that
we have done that.
no, we have done that. And I think a lot of the Pirates fan base right now, for those that don't know, the Pirates are struggling. They have lost like 12 of 14 or thereabout in their last 14 games. It hasn't been great right now, Zach. And I mean, the two wins that we've had, Mitch Keller, our ace. I don't think there's any argument about that. Was phenomenal, man. Um, I think the reason the Pirates have struggled as of late a little bit is just that they're not that they're not really running the base path with the same intensity that they did in the beginning of the year. I thought we were doing a great job with swiping bags to start off the year. We haven't done that as we haven't played it as smart as I would have liked to see. But I know it's baseball is baseball. Losing streaks are going to happen. But if you would have told me, Zach, that we'd be sitting here in mid-May talking about a team that's still over 500, I would have said I would have taken that 100 times out of 100. So I am very, very. I think a lot of people are pessimistic. I, for one, am optimistic about the possibilities that this Pirates team has. I really think we just need to continue to really embrace our identity. I think the Pirates are a team built on veteran leadership with Andrew McCutchen, built on small ball, built on just a fundamentally sound baseball team, and I'm really looking forward to see if we can get back to that. You know what I mean, Jack?
All right, that we'll have to do. We have to wrap it up here as I have to some matters to attend to here briefly. So that will do it for us here. I am Zach Bischoff. He is Danny Shanholzer, and we will see you next time right here on the All Things Sports podcast.